Hello.
Hello,
Hi, Nadia.
I am Nadia Rizak.
Good to meet you, Nadia.
Thank you. You are ready to meeting?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm just eating a little almond, just a little almonds before things get started. Hi.
Yeah. I have some question.
I'm sure, yeah.
I do my homework and uh, lesson 4. I take a assignment, take a quiz, and question 2. How many meetings do you have? Do you have? I don't know. We have
That's okay.
1, 2,
That's,
4, or 6.
yeah. Well, we're going to talk about that right now. That's what today is, sort of a welcome to the class and to talk about how to do this class, because it is a little different than other classes. So the answer is 1, but we'll talk, I'm going to answer everything. How many meetings and what time and what day and how to do this class. That's what I will teach you all today.
Yeah. Because question 2 is what day or times, and I do not see. I don't see Tuesday. Uh, Tuesday right now. 12,
Right. Yeah.
12:15. I don't see this point, and I am confused.
Right. I will tell you, I know, I'll tell you, like I said, I'll tell you, I love some students, very excited, ready to start the lessons, but you didn't have to do anything before this class today. So the first class today is to introduce everybody and explain the rules and the grades and all those things. So I promise at the end of class today, you will know exactly what to do, hopefully, and how to do it.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Uh,
My pleasure. Are you taking other classes this semester, Nadia?
yeah. I have.
Any other? Yeah, what class?
Yeah, I have 2 more classes. I have history
Okay,
310,
cool.
and
That's great.
I have uh, HCD.
Human childhood development.
Yeah,
Nice.
human career development.
Oh, cool. Okay, okay.
But I don't know this. I need help.
Did they start, or are there Zoom meetings, or is it live, or you just do the work by yourself, or how are those classes set up?
It's recommended. My counselor recommended me this class,
Got
and
it.
I
Okay.
take. I take, but I don't know.
Yeah,
It's I confuse it.
that's normal. Yes,
I
Samira.
I
Hello, Jeff, Professor Jeff. Hello,
Good.
how are you?
Good to see you
Hello.
again. How are you?
I'm glad. I'm good, thank you. I'm very glad to see you again, dear Professor.
Oh, thank you so much, Samira. It's good to see you too. Hi, Tim.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
So again, just a reminder, Samira, Nadia, everybody, remember I'm recording these meetings. So if you don't want your face, if you don't want your voice recorded, you can turn your camera off. That is totally okay with me, but I just want to make sure you know, right? So the meeting is recorded. If you don't want your face, just turn your screen off. That is all good, all good.
it's okay. It's okay. I like to see
Okay.
everyone.
I do too. I do too. But I think I'm with you. I totally agree, Nadia. But you'll find out. I think for me, it's very important to be respectful of you all and understand everybody has different feelings and online stuff and videos and all that different stuff. So.
It's okay.
Hello, Olina and Sabur. How are you guys?
Good, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you.
Olena.
Yes.
Is this your friend? Nadia, you know Elena?
I know Nadia because last semester we took one class together.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, great. Which class? Which class?
Grammar.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
310,
I am
320,
glad.
320. Which grammar class?
310. 310.
Yeah.
310.
Cool. Very nice. That's great. That's good.
Yeah, nice to meet all students.
Yeah, it's good to see everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
The first week's always fun. Well, I like to in the first week I don't want you guys to feel too stressed ever, but definitely week 1 we shouldn't stress. It's meet each other, say hello, you know, learn the class, how do we do this, figure stuff out. So, anyway. Sayed, hello, good to meet you.
Hello, Professor. Hello, everybody.
Administrator. All right. What's up, administrator? How you doing?
How are you, Professor?
I'm okay. Thank you.
I don't
I'm
know.
doing
My
okay.
name is here is Sabur, but not is my brother's name. But my name is Malala.
Oh.
Yeah. Good.
Oh, let's see. So you can change if you, so there's a couple ways to do this, but I can change it for you too. But if you
Rines?
go, so if you're looking,
Yeah, I got
if
it.
you're looking at Zoom, you got it?
Yeah.
Perfect. You can do it a bunch of different ways.
Thank
But
you.
Katima, hello.
Hi.
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. How are you? How's your mom?
Good. Good to see you. We're okay. The family is okay. We're doing our best.
Good.
Hi, this is Leila.
Hello. Hi, Layla. Good to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you too.
You're still having Christmas at home, so I like that. That's nice. Still celebrating Christmas. I love it. And I see it looks like Maya came in. Malale. Okay, good. Thank you, Malale, for changing it. And Fazia's here. Of course, I know Fazia.
How are you doing?
Fazia is one of those students. I think what 3 classes with me? You're crazy, Fazia.
Hi, Fazia.
Hi.
And Katima, is this your second class with me, Katima, or second or third?
Fazia was my classmate.
Okay, that's good. And Samira too. Samira took class with me.
Yes, dear.
Yep. So we'll wait. It's first class, so we'll wait a few more minutes. But it's so nice to see you. Good to meet you all. And of course, I know Nadia already had questions. Everybody, lots of people had questions. You know, how do we do this class? What? Oh, 1 day a week, 2 days a week. What's going on? That's everything we'll talk about today. Is I'll show you what to do in Canvas and answer questions. How do we do this? We're not going to do anything crazy or scary today with grammar or reading. Today is just how to learn how to do this class. If you're Samira or Fazia, you kind of already know how I like to do online class because it might be different than other teachers, but I'll explain everything today. I know a lot of people in this question. Sadaf, it's really good to see you. Sadaf was in my class my first semester.
I'm glad to see you again.
It's good to see you too.
Hi, Professor.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. What about you?
I'm okay. You know, surviving. We're doing our best.
Okay, nice to see you again.
Thank you. You too. Always. I know a lot of you guys. Azita, hello. Susanna, good to meet
Hi,
you.
Professor.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm okay. Do we need to change your, can you change your screen? Yeah, you got it. You're on it. Who's Azita? Is Azita your daughter or who? Yes, someone in your family?
Yes, she's my daughter. She has class today.
Hey.
Yeah, that's why, yeah.
I think a lot of students have that too. They log into Zoom and it's their kids. It's their kid's name.
Yeah, right now it's good.
Oh my gosh, a lot of students from that R50 class. It's good to see you all again. Well, we'll wait just a few more minutes, but I'm going to start. I'm going to, Artina, I'm going to mute you just so I don't hear my echo. If I ever mute you, it's not personal, you guys. I'm going to start to share my screen. Can you see that January 21st? Can you guys see my screen, the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I see some
Yes.
thumbs up. Great. So like I said, we'll wait a few more minutes. And I'm sure people have lots of questions, like I said, about Zoom and grades and all those things. But are there any little short questions that I can answer before we get started today? No. Jeff, how do we do this class? What are we going to do? I will answer all questions. We got a good group so far. 19 students. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. Who else did I see come in? Angela, hello. Good to meet you. Amina, good to meet you. Good to see you guys. And I'll say this again one more time, and then we'll get started here. Remember, you heard the woman, right? The woman's voice when you came in. This meeting is being recorded. So remember, I will record these meetings and post them for people to watch. So if you do not want your face, in the recording, that is totally fine. You can turn your video off. That is fine with me. I just want everybody to understand and make sure we are recording. So protect your privacy the way you want to. It's all good. All good. So let's get started. Let's get started here. I'm going to keep sharing my screen. And I'll say one other thing before I get started. The way that I like to teach the classes, I like to ask you all a lot of questions. So I would love for you to answer those questions. So if you want to, you can just unmute yourself and start to talk. You don't need to raise your hand. If you want to raise your hand, you can. I'll see you. You can also type your answers into the chat if you want to type instead of speak and use your voice. So whatever way is most comfortable for you guys, okay? So unmute yourself and talk, raise your hand, type in the chat, whatever is best for you. So I know a lot of you, it's really good to see people, friends, it feels like, for the second or third time. But for people who don't know me, hi, my name is Jeff. You can call me Jeff or Professor Jeff. And I'm your teacher for ESL 325. We have an activity where I'll get to learn a little bit more about you, and you'll get to learn a little bit more about me as well. But I guess the only thing I really want to share with you all is that this class, ESL 325, and this level, I'm just seeing someone typed in the chat. Thank you, Katima, typing in the chat. This class, ESL 325, is really hey, Kadisha, good to see you. Is really the class I teach the most. This is the class that really introduces academic reading and writing. It will get you ready for English 300, or if you wanted to take ESLW 340, or if you're already taking a chemistry class, an ECE class, maybe you're taking a history class. Whatever classes you're taking, a lot of the work that we do and the things we practice for reading and writing is really to get you ready for college level work, right? So whether that's at ARC, or if you keep going, hi Mir, good to see you. I saw Mir says hello everyone in the chat. So whether you stay at ARC, or if you go to Sac State, or if you want to go to UC Davis, a lot of these skills that we introduce and practice, they will help you for the rest of your time in college. So that's my goal for this class. But let's talk about this. What are we doing and how are we going to do it? So here's the agenda. Every week when we have our Zoom meeting, this is kind of how it's going to go, right? I'll have a PowerPoint slide. I'll have some activities for us to do together, and I'll always have an agenda. I'll tell you what we are going to do on that day. So today, we're going to do a welcome and then a sort of icebreaker activity. I'll tell you what that is. Then we're going to look at the syllabus together. We're going to take a tour of Canvas so I can show you how I set it up and how you can use it. And then we'll talk about the lessons, the activities that are already in Canvas for you. excuse me, that I'll ask you to do in the next week. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So the first thing though, at the Zoom meetings, one thing I really love to do is to put you into small rooms or in the breakout rooms in small groups so that you can at least talk to each other a little bit, right? I think there are some good things about online learning. There's some really nice things about online class, but one thing that I think is difficult is it's really easy to feel like you're all alone, like you're the only one taking 30 units or whatever. But I promise there's other students in this class with us, right? And I think doing this small group activity on Wednesdays or on Thursdays for us is a good way to remember like, oh yeah, there's 30, I think there's 34 students in this class. So there's other students doing this with me. So the activity that I want you to do, it's called an icebreaker because it's a way for you to get to know each other. You are strangers right now, but after this activity, you get to know each other. So there's two questions that I want you to talk about in your small groups. And the first one is, what do you think about and feel when you see the phrase college writing? What does that mean to you? Does that make you excited? Does it make you scared? Does it make you happy? I don't know. I want you to talk about that with your group. And then the second one is, what is something specific that you want to learn this semester in this class? So of course, everyone's gonna say English writing. Okay, fine. But is there something specific, right? Do you want to learn about paragraphs and organization? Do you want to learn about sentence structure and grammar? Do you want to learn about research writing? I mean, is there something specific that you really hope to learn from this class this semester? Okay, so these are the two questions that I want you to talk about with your group. Of course, I hope you'll also introduce yourself and talk about you and, you know, maybe where you live and maybe how many languages you speak, some of those other normal questions. But I also want you to talk about these two questions in your groups. Okay, so any questions about what I want you to do right now? If you can't remember these questions, write them down or take a picture of your screen with your phone. And when you're in your groups, I'll send this out. I'll send an announcement so that you can see at the top of the screen, it'll show the questions, okay? Naja's excited. I know you have to speak a little bit of English and then it's just gonna be me talking for a little while, okay? But I'll make you speak a little bit of English, introduce yourself, say hello to someone else who is in your class and answer these two questions, and then be ready to share some of your answers when you get back. So I'm gonna open the breakout rooms right now. We'll do groups of 3 or 4 people. All right, the rooms should be open right now. I'll see you in about 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Great. Hello.
Hello.
So we're in small groups
Oh.
right now. I'll send you into the small groups, and they can tell you sort of what we're talking about if you're able
Okay.
to, okay? And if you can't talk right now because you're outside or something, that's fine too. You can turn your screen off, but at least I'll send you into the
Okay,
group,
thank you.
okay? Great. I'll send you into room 6.
Sorry for my late.
No problem at all. No problem at all. Hello, Ibrahim.
Good afternoon.
We are in small groups right now, so I can put you into one of the rooms and then they'll tell you sort of what we're talking about. We're just sort of meeting a few of our other classmates
Okay.
right now.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll send you into room 6 just for a few more minutes, and at least that way you can say hello and meet a few other students, okay?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Cool. So I'll see you back in the main room in just a few minutes.
Okay.
Hey, Barbara.
So I'm like,
Good to see you.
nice to see you. Sorry about your mom.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you.
You did hard work with your mom, and
Yeah.
I respect that you will in a bad time with her.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your kind words. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's life is crazy. All we can do is pray and ask for help. It's we just do the best we can. So anyway, thank you for your kindness. Thank you.
Thank you.
I saw your message about more Canvas as usual. Also, I saw for our class, I saw your message about Canvas. I know there's stuff for me to fix, okay, for the quizzes and stuff. So I'll make sure I do that for sure.
Okay. I'm sorry about that.
We're in small groups.
But I think it is maybe new students, it will be helpful for him.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right too. No, I think you're right. No, nothing to apologize for. And we're actually just in small groups. We're going to come back right now. So I won't even send you because I'm going to close the rooms right now. But just introductions and basic stuff, things that you'll remember from the way I like to do class. So everybody's coming back right now.
Okay.
Can you see my screen? My screen share right now,
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes,
Okay, good.
yes, I see.
Just want to make sure. All right, people coming back in. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Hopefully you got to meet a few other people, talk about the class. You can say, if you worked with another student who knows me, you can say, what's going on with Jeff? Did I make a mistake? Oh my God. Why am I in this class? Oh, Rafi, you got to change your name from administrator. Okay, good. I was thinking, should I change it for her? But I'm glad. Room 5 is still talking. That's good. That means they made fast friends. That's good. I should have said also for people who don't know. All right, welcome back. We're all back.
By the time I understand.
Yeah.
The breakout rooms are never recorded, you guys. So if you don't want your face or anything on the recording, you can turn your video on in the breakout rooms because, like I said, they will never be recorded. Only the main room gets recorded. So, cool. Well, welcome back. So I just want to hear a little bit from you guys and talk a little bit about these two questions. Can you guys still see my screen? Still see the two questions on the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Let's talk a little bit about question 1. I really want to spend more time talking about question 2, but let's talk about some of your thoughts and feelings when you hear the words academic writing. What does that mean? How do you feel? What comes up? Type in the chat or just unmute yourself and tell me. What do you think?
For me, sorry, I want to start with myself. My name is Ibrahim.
Yeah, please, Ibrahim.
Okay, so for me, this kind of writing is mean everything should be in the place that should be. Like word, like everything. So yeah. when I try to write something, yeah, it's a little tricky when I write something in academic writing, but most of the time I can do it. But if I be honest, I'm not so good.
Okay, perfect. And listening to Ibrahim, the first thing when he was talking, the first thing I thought was, okay, so when Ibrahim hears academic writing, he thinks rules, rules, rules. Everything needs to be in the right place. Everything in the place yeah, okay. And then I see in the chat, Sherry says, I'm worried about it. I don't think you're alone, Sherry. Don't worry. Well, I mean, you can worry if you want to, but I don't think you're the only one. So Ibrahim was saying rules. Sherry's saying she's worried about. Barbara, I saw your hand. What do you think? What do you feel when you see that college writing, academic writing?
I think it is college writing. It is level less level than academic writing.
Oh, okay. Okay? So you think a difference between college versus academic? What do you is that about? What do you think? Is that about vocabulary or how long or what do you think?
No, not how long. How is grammar? Right grammar, because college writing, it is I think it is almost people who which is English is secondly language, and college writing is like starting writing.
Interesting. Okay,
And
cool. Really interesting.
academic
Barbara.
writing, it is more professional.
Interesting. Okay, I love those ideas. Very interesting. I have a lot to say about that, but I love that. I love those ideas, Barbara. Yes, please, Nadia, please.
College. I feel college writing. I like college writing, and I like there is a first draft writing.
Yep.
And I like feedback you send and corrected. It's important to me because I make a lot of mistakes.
Sure. Yeah, I love it. I love that. So yeah, if you've taken, yeah, please, Katima, please.
Yeah.
Internet.
We lost you, Katima. See, I heard you, but then I couldn't hear you. Come, if you can unmute yourself, keep talking. But I just wanted to say, Rafi was saying in the chat, everything should be organized. So one thing that Rafi was thinking about is organization and strong details. Good. This is definitely maybe a person who took 350. Yes, please.
Yeah, I think it looks hard for me because it's not the way we talk, because we talk different. When we write, we have to use our grammar, how to the skill of writing. It's not like whatever we say we can write. It looks difficult for me.
Good. I love it. Okay, so I don't love that you feel like it's hard, but I love you said something really exactly correct. Academic writing is different than the way we speak. And then Malele was also saying, and that makes me a little nervous, a little scared. Can I do this? How are we going to do this? Oh my God, what have I done? Why did I take this class? What's happening? Okay, good. Okay, good. Is anybody, I'll ask this, and then I want to hear about question number 2. Is anybody feeling confident? Is anybody feeling like, yeah, I got this. I know I can do it. I can do it. No, I see Susana's like.
It's writing,
like,
we know. It's writing.
I know, Katima's talking about, yeah, doing writing, we know. And Barbara, are you feeling confident,
Yes,
Barbara?
I think more of us on the start of semester are scared, but at the end semester will be good.
Barbara took grammar with me last semester. This is Barbara's 3rd class with me. So I promise you guys, I'll get you there. I'll get you there. Don't worry. Angela, did I see your little blue hand too, Angela?
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about question number 2. Yeah, please.
Yeah, actually, about question number 2 you ask. Yeah, when I compare my writing, I have my paper from 330. When I compare my writing to 300, like 10. When I did last semester, it was like big different. Yeah, but I always say, yeah, I'll do it, because my goal is to improve my writing to transfer for university for academic writing.
I love it. And can you say, I think you're right. Can you say a little bit how is it different? Like, what's the difference between 310 or English 300, or what's the difference?
Yeah,
what's the difference?
The difference when I compare my papers from 330, because I still have my paper from 330, and when I start the first class, and when I compare my paper from that time to now, like in 2-3 years, oh my God, I say, wow, it's big achievement, it's big achievement. I got like big change in my writing.
I love it. I love hearing when a student like Angela or any students, like you look back, you look at how you improved or how the progress you made, and you feel good and you feel proud. I think you all should. If you're taking 325 right now, of course we want to improve, we want to get better English, but if you're in this class, I mean, you're doing things, right? You're working really hard.
Right.
So I'm glad that people feel proud. You should feel proud.
Thanks.
I love it. So how about question number 2? We're going to look at the syllabus. We're going to talk about specific things. You guys can hear my nephews. They're running around outside like crazy. He's waving at me. We're going to look at the syllabus and we're going to talk about, the goals for this class. But I also think it's really important at the beginning to ask yourself, right? What are my own goals? What are some things that I really want to learn? You can't control everything that the professor teaches you, but you can have specific goals for your own self. I also wanted to say, Samira was saying academic writing is focused and organized writing. I love that, especially organized. I like that, Samira, in the chat. So how about question number 2, though? Are there some specific things you want to learn in this class, or that you hope we learn in this class? I'd love to hear from a couple people.
I want to learn persuasive writing, kind of persuasive maybe, because we had it last semester.
Okay.
And this kind of writing was a little difficulties, not a lot, but a little for me. So I want to improve this kind of writing for me in this semester, in this class,
Love it.
class.
Great.
And also other kinds that I don't know.
Great.
Kinds of writing
Cool.
that I don't.
I love those goals, Nassima. Great. Nassima is also taking classes with me. Good to hear you again. Good to see you. I love those very specific examples, Nassima. I love it. I love it. Anybody else? Things you hope to learn in ESL 325? Varvara, tell me. Let's do Varvara and then Khadija.
I want to improve skills about organization and connection with writing, with reading.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so organization for writing.
Connection with reading.
I love it. Good. Definitely all academic writing, college writing, academic writing skills. In the chat, Sherry says how to recognize main ideas. I think that means recognize main ideas in reading, right? So this is something I'm going to call reading skills. And reading skills, you probably talked about this in 315 or in another class. The first couple weeks, we really practice some of these reading skills. So how do you find the main idea? How do you find supporting details? If you're looking to find a good quote, right? You want to quote or paraphrase something.
Nice.
How do you find the best quote to paraphrase? I think that's a really important skill to practice. So so that's great. And Khadija, what were you going to say?
First of all, I want to say hi for everybody because I'm sorry I come late, and also I'm happy to see you to be in your class again. And in this semester, I have planned to improve my writing, academic writing, especially on organization, because this is very important in our writing. Grammar and also organizations.
Good. And of course, I'm sure you're not the only person who wants to talk about grammar. We'll do a little bit of that, but come take G310 or come take G320 with me, like Varvara took G310. So great. Anybody else? Specific thing? And it's of course good to see you again as well, Khadija, but I'm glad you're here. Anybody else? Specific things you hope to learn this semester?
For last semester, we got learned some style essay. For this semester, I want to know like new style for essay because if it's
What, and I'm sorry, last semester, what style did you do?
For like compare contrast essay, we had the opinion essay and also some others. Like for this one, for this semester in this class, I want to know new style essay. Yeah.
Well, this word genre is just here's one vocab word for you today. Genre is just an academic vocab word for style. So we're going to talk again today. We're really going to only talk about the class. Next week we're really going to start, with reading and writing. But I'll tell you right now, this word genre, it means style, like Malele was saying. So when you think about genre, and this could be for books, for movies, for TV shows. So if you think about movies, right, children's movies or cartoons, that's a genre. And if you want to make a Disney movie or a Pixar movie, right, there's specific things you do. And if you want to make a scary movie, a horror movie, well, that's a very different genre, right? But it's all the same. It's all movies, it's all films, but there's all these different rules. And you're exactly correct. Compare contrast is one genre, one style of academic writing. Persuasive writing is one style of writing. I'll tell you right now, for this class, we do narrative writing, we do summary and response writing, and we start to talk a little tiny bit about research writing. Because when you go to W340 or when you go to English 300, excuse me, that's when you'll really start to do research writing, right? Where you really have a research paper to write, and that'll really get you ready for for your bachelor's degree or your master's degree or whatever your academic goals are. So, Malele, I'm happy to say you'll definitely get more genres, more different styles of writing, of course. How about maybe two more people, 2 or 3 more people? Any other specific things you want to learn this semester?
I think in reading we can new topic take new topic. We can take new topic of reading and writing, and write new topic.
Good. So topics, I'm asking Nadia. So topic is kind of like what the reading is about, sort of like, we're reading in English, we're improving our English skills, but of course you could read about you could read about science in English, you could read about medicine in English, you could read about, a lot of different topics. So is that sort of what you're talking about when you say new things, new topics?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll do that. Sadaf says how to organize an argument essay. Oh, I love it. So we said we want to learn about organization. I'm going to sort of adapt what Sadaf said there. And really, that is the whole deal, Sadaf, right? So I'm going to put together some of the different ideas that different students have said, but of course, if we say, like Malele was saying, we want to learn about new styles, new genres, well, each style and each genre has specific rules, right? Has specific organization. And that's the whole deal, right? Like your sentence structure and how you use English to write sentences, that's important for every single essay. But different types of writing, different genres, different rules, different organization, that's really what we start to do, right? So you'll find out right away, writing a narrative essay is totally different than writing a persuasive essay, right? And writing a summary and response essay is very different than writing a compare and contrast essay, right? But all of the skills that you've already practiced, whether you did that here in ESL 315 or at a university somewhere else, the skills you've learned, they're going to help you, but we're going to maybe use them in a little bit of a different way in this class. So, all right, anybody else? Last idea, last question before we start to talk about the syllabus and the rules and grades and all the boring, scary, but important stuff. Anyone else for this second question, our goals, things we want to learn?
Yeah.
Please, Ibrahim.
Okay, so for me is finding a good way to write a good sentences and connection between these two sentences. So I already see that somebody else talk about the connection. So connection is very important. When I when I try to make a good sentences and have no connection between the sentences, like all kind of sentences when we have in a details or something, so the paragraph should be met. But yeah, for me,
you're
writing a good sentence, a connection between the sentences, the basic things that I want to learn that. But I learned it already in other classes, but I want to improve it for this class.
Yeah, there's maybe you've seen words like this: moreover, therefore, as a result, however. We've got, you could find whole lists of sort of transition words, transition adverbs, or sentence adverbs. So how to make connections. And if you've ever seen a comment or feedback from a teacher, ESL teacher, or from any other class that says, oh, you need a better connection, or you need smoother transition, or your writing should flow more, flow better. A lot of these words, flow and connections, these are ways, really, we're talking about transitions. And you're exactly correct, Ibrahim. This is so important. And I'll just be honest, it's hard, right? It takes a lot of practice. It's hard to become perfect at this in maybe just, one semester. But I think it's a great goal. And this semester, there's lots of lists. I'm going to give you lots of resources, right? So we're going to talk about books. There's not a lot of books for this class, but I'm going to give you lots of websites and pages, things like reporting verbs, the most common verbs you need to use when you're writing academic English, right? Or some of these transition words that can help you to make connections in your sentences and paragraphs, because you're exactly correct. That's important and difficult, important and difficult. Rukshan in the chat just said how to annotate a story. Wow, Rukshan, did you take Sanda's class, Professor Valku? Because she loves to talk about annotating, annotating a text.
Yes,
great one. I love that one, Rukshan.
The class, but she gave us some story, and we summary and annotate. But I have, to be honest, I have a lot of problem with annotating a story.
Yeah, annotation. We're gonna start really with this next week, right? We're gonna talk a lot about this next week, but annotation, I will just say, is one type of reading skill. Okay, there's lots of different reading skills. Some people love annotation, some people don't. So Rukshan, if you don't love annotation, that's okay, but we'll find some other reading skills that help you remember what you read and think about how to make connections to what you read when you're writing. Because annotation is one of many possible skills. And Amina says, I want to learn more about subordinators. Hey, Barbara, where you at? Subordinators and contrasts and how I can use them to make my writing strong. Oh man, grammar stuff. Barbara can tell you all about subordinators and how important they are. I'm going to add that to the list here where it says grammar. And this is important for making rich and interesting complex sentences. So that makes sense that you'd say that even in our 325 class. All right, great list, you guys. This is fantastic. And I'm happy to tell you a lot of these things are already, on the syllabus, things that, you're right? This is what you should be learning at 325. You're in the right place, and hopefully with the right teacher. Cool. So, thank you, Layla. Like that joke. So I'm going to talk now a little bit about the business of this class, right? How it's designed and the syllabus, and I'm going to show you the Canvas. So again, I'm going to talk. It's just going to be my voice for a few minutes. So I'll ask you to be patient. Usually I don't just lecture and talk. I love to hear from you guys, but we do have some important information that I want to just tell you. And then if you have questions, type them in the chat or write them down, because I will take questions, but first I want to just present some information about how this class goes. Okay, so I'm going to make the PowerPoint the whole screen, and let's go. So this class is designed to be a flexible course. Now, if you look at this slide, what does that mean, right? So I want to explain to you what flexible course design is, and then how I design this class to be flexible. So flexible course design, like it says here at the beginning, at the top, is something that teachers are experimenting with to help students during the COVID-19 pandemic. The idea is to allow students to complete the course at their own speed and at the days and times that work best for their personal schedule. This is why none of the lessons in our class will have due dates, right? This is also why there's no strict attendance for this class. So you don't get points for coming to today's Zoom meeting, and you don't lose points for not coming to today's Zoom meeting, right? So there's no required attendance. So the last thing I'll say down at the bottom, and then I see people are in the chat. I'm always watching, so don't worry, I'll get there. Now, there are several major writing projects, like I was saying about genre, right? A narrative writing project or a summary and response writing project. Now, we will have due dates for the first draft, because after you submit the first draft, then I'll give you feedback and you get the chance to revise, make edits, and resubmit for a higher score. So the only thing that will have a due date is the first draft of those major essays, so that I can give you feedback so that you can revise and resubmit them for a higher score. Okay, so I'm just going to check at the chat real quick. Also, I want to learn how to expand our essays. Oh yeah, Khadija says how to write longer, how to write more. Oh, you will, believe me. So that's what flexible course design is. Now, what does that mean for us, right? What are the details of our flexible course design? So here's what that means for us. Oh, I need to fix one thing. Sorry about this. I don't know why it said Wednesdays at the top. It says Thursdays right here in the middle. So what this means for flexible design, it means we will only have one Zoom meeting per week, right? So we will meet Thursdays, 12:15 to 2:25. So here's information about these Thursday meetings. So please come to as much of our Zoom meeting as you can. If you can only come to an hour, come to an hour. If you have to come late, come late. If you have to leave early, leave early. That's fine. But if you can be here to be with us live, I think it's a really good idea to be here. Now, what we will do on these Thursday Zoom meetings is I'll have some lecture materials to present and review things from that week's lessons and assignments, right? I will also answer any questions that you have about that week's lessons and assignments. And I did this twice, you guys, forgive me. All of our Thursday Zoom meetings, I did it again. All of our Thursday Zoom meetings will be recorded and posted in Canvas, and I'll show you where they live in Canvas. Now, I will not take attendance for Thursday Zoom meetings, but I will say if you can't be here, I ask you to watch those recordings, because I will ask you to be responsible for all of the information that I present in the Zoom meetings. So what that means is when we start to have our first essay, right? So let's say you can't come to a Zoom meeting for 2 weeks, right? You're really busy at work, or of course it's still the pandemic. Someone in your family gets sick, right? Or someone at your kid's school gets sick and now your kids are at home with you doing distance education all day, right? So if there's 1 or 2 weeks that are really challenging for your schedule and you cannot come to the Zoom meeting, that is fine. But I still ask you to watch those meetings, because when I go to grade your essay, right, I'm still going to be looking for some of the information, the rules, the stuff that I talked about during those Zoom meetings. Okay, so I've got more to say on the next slide about this, but do we have any questions at all about flexible course design and Thursday Zoom meetings? Any questions? I'm ready.
I
Susanna,
have
please.
actually it's not, it doesn't have to do with Zoom meetings, but it
Okay.
has to do with the meetings overall, because our class is on Thursday.
Yes.
Even though you post a syllabus quiz, right? So in the syllabus quiz, everything says Wednesday. So I took the test yesterday, the quiz. There is, for instead of Thursday 12:15 to 2:25, it says Wednesday. So I chose the Wednesday and it was the correct answer. So I'm assuming it's from last semester, or
If there's, I don't know, it doesn't even have to be from last semester. I mean, I'll tell you all right now, I'm going to make so many mistakes. I mean, like, no, I'm not a computer expert. I'm a language expert. So if there's any kind of Canvas error or some computer problem, I am not a perfect person. So if there's,
it's everywhere, it just states Wednesday. That's why I was just wanted to say, because I see a lot of Wednesday too.
if there are errors for me to fix in any quizzes or anything, well, when there are errors in Canvas, which there will be, I promise I will fix them. I promise I will fix them. So, I'll make sure you get your points. I know usually that's what students really mean is I want my points. I want my points for my quiz. So I'll make sure everybody gets their points. So thank you, Susanna. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Any questions though about flexible course design or Thursday Zoom meetings or really anything? Yes, Ibrahim.
Yes, Professor, if somebody can't join to the course at all, so what's going on? Any losing point, anything?
If you can't, you're saying if you can never come to a Zoom meeting or?
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, so if you never come to the Zoom meeting, but you watch the recording, it's you're watching them at midnight or something when you have time, that's totally fine, right? I strongly believe that students who can come, I think being here with each other, being here with me, asking questions will help you. But of course, like I said, this class is designed so that if you can never come to Zoom meetings and all you do is watch the recordings, as long as you get as long as you get a 70% for your grade, you pass the class. You're fine. You're fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, attendance has nothing to do with your grade. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Other questions? Any other questions?
Hello.
Cool. Hello, Fatma.
Yeah, how are you? I just doing this. Just someone to say.
We're glad.
Nice.
We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Good to meet you too. Yeah, good to meet you too.
All our
Professor, if we have.
Yes, Mir, please.
I mean, if we have some questions, so we can ask on one-on-one Zoom, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Exactly right. Yeah, let's talk about that next. Thank you, Mir. So perfect transition. So Thursdays, right? Thursday, 12:15, I'll be here every week. I'll have lessons, I'll have materials, I'll have stuff to help review things, to help you finish the lessons in Canvas. But there are other ways for you to talk to me and get help and get support from this class as well. So I'm calling these student hours. Sometimes you'll see this called office hours, but of course we're not on campus. I don't have an office. No one has an office. So these aren't office hours. These are student hours, ways for you to talk to me and get help and get support. So Wednesday from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m., I've got 2 hours available for you guys on phone, text, and email. So what this means is that I'm sitting at my laptop, I'm answering emails, I have my cell phone. If you want to text me or call me, you can call me from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and get an answer right away, right? So this is a really good way to get a hold of me. If, like you were saying, like Susanna was saying, I made a mistake in Canvas, you have a question about some points, you have a question about your grade, something that's kind of short and fast and easy, this is a great 2 hours to get a hold of me because you'll get an answer right away, right in live time. Now, Thursdays, 2:30 to 4:30, I also have time for one-on-one Zoom meetings. Now, this is a much better chance. So if we need to share a screen, if we want to look at your essay together, if you want to talk about or practice something that just takes a little more time or is a little more complex, these Thursday afternoon one-on-one Zoom meetings are a really great time to do that. Now, I'm going to show you in Canvas here. On the home page, there's a link right here. Just if you click home, right on our 325 page, here where it says one-on-one Zoom meetings, this link, this is the way to get to these one-on-one meetings. I will ask you, if you can, right, if you know that you want to talk to me, excuse me again, please send me a text or send me an email to just say, Jeff, I really want to talk to you on Thursday at 3 o'clock, right? That way I'll know I'm ready for you, and I'll make sure that if another student wants to talk to me, if Susanna texts me and says, Jeff, I want to talk to you at 3, I'll say, great, I'll see you at 3. But then if Fatma texts me the next day and says, I want to see you at 3, I'll say, I already, you know, I'm talking to Susanna then, can you meet at 3:30 or can you meet at 2:30, right? So if you remember, if you can, and you know you want to see me on a Thursday, send me a message or send me a text. That way I make sure that's just your time. Does that make sense? Cool. And then the other time is by appointment. So if you cannot meet Wednesdays, or if you can't send me a text Wednesdays 10 to noon or Thursdays 2:30 to 4:30, you can always email me or send me a text and say, Jeff, can you meet on Monday? Jeff, can you meet on Friday? And if I'm able to, if I can, I will make it happen, right? So Wednesday and Thursdays, guarantee, promise, no matter what, you need me, I'm there. By appointment, if you need to meet at another time, just ask, and if I can, I will make it happen. So any questions about student hours, other ways to get help, other ways to get support? Any questions?
No, thank you.
Cool. All right, then let's look at Canvas. Oh, let's look at the Canvas and the syllabus. So we're back here in Canvas. I've tried to, thank you, Fatima, with a thumbs up, I love it. So I've tried to organize Canvas in a way that is easy and clear, but everybody looks and learns in different ways. So I did want to look at this together. So again, if you're in this class, you probably already know Canvas. You used it last semester. But again, if you're not here and you're watching the recording, hi, make sure first you just want to click on ESL 325. It will go to our home page. This is what our home page looks like, right? You should see this whenever you click the home page. Welcome to ESL 325 for spring 2021. Just to show you at the beginning here, the first link is our Thursday meeting Zoom room link. Now, I will also always send out an announcement to say, hey, class is going to start, click this link. But if you want to get to our Thursday meetings, you can always start right here, okay? Now, underneath here, it says live support material. This is where all of the recordings of our Zoom meetings are going to be. If I click that link right now, it shows, you know, today's date, 1/21/20. I need to fix 2021. And then right now, there's no links for the Zoom recording or the PowerPoint because, you know, class isn't over yet. But usually it takes about 30 minutes, maybe an hour for the Zoom recording to be done. When it's done, I'll post the link here. And then I'll always put the file for the PowerPoint. So, you know, this PowerPoint that we're looking at right here, this will always be in Canvas for you to download or look at anytime you want on the live support materials page. Okay. I'm going to keep going, but any questions so far? Okay, all I'll say again, if you're not here and watching the recording, live support materials is your friend. Click that page. There's lots of good stuff there. Okay, then there's Professor Jeff's course materials. We're going to talk about books and stuff in a second, but a lot of the materials for this class are free, and I'm just going to put on Canvas for you. A lot of that material is already here. So if I talk about why translation matters, we're not going to read this whole book. We're going to look at a few pages. But if I say, okay, we're going to look at why translation matters, and I want you to look at page look at the preface and the introduction. Okay, if you click this link right here, the PDF should just download for you, and here's that reading, right? Here's those files. I also made a recording audio of myself reading some of these things. So if it's easier for you to listen to me do some of the reading, you can do that too. Let me see if I can make sure I'm sharing my sound here. Pause recording. Share computer sound.
Professor Maria Rosa Menocal invited me to Yale University.
Can you guys hear that? I don't hear it yet.
Neruda's residencia.
Oh, you guys can hear it. Okay, good.
Particular was a
So
revolution.
you'll hear enough of my voice, but just more examples of stuff, right? Now, when we start to read the Map of Lost Things, one of the textbooks for this class, I also have recordings of myself reading some of those stories from those books. And I have a link for summary and response materials. So don't worry about any of this stuff right now, right? This is stuff that we're going to do in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or even longer than that. But if I talk about course materials, right, that's what I'm talking about, right? A lot of those things for you to look at, download, listen to, read are here on this page that says Professor Jeff's course materials. I already talked about the link to the one-on-one Zoom meetings. So if you send me a text and say, Jeff, I want to see you Thursday at 3, I will say, great, I will see you at 3 o'clock. And all you need to do is click on the link here that says one-on-one Zoom meetings. And I'm going to go down here to the bottom. So also here's this picture of me, just so you guys know, this is me out in the desert seeing a cactus for the first time like this. But my email address is here. You can always click it and it'll take you right there. Also, this is my phone number. This is my cell phone. So when I say send me a text message, I am serious. That's my number. Send me a text. These phones are a big part of our life. They're really super easy and convenient. So don't be afraid. I was afraid. I was nervous to give students my cell phone last semester, but because we were doing everything for COVID and it was the first time, I felt like it was good to try. And I think it worked really, really well. So don't be afraid to send me a text, especially if you have a short question. I can give you a short answer really fast. So it works really well. And just a reminder about my office hours, my student hours down here below. So next we're going to look at the syllabus, but before we do that, any questions about this home page or the links on Canvas, anything, any questions about this page?
It's wonderful, it's clear.
Okay, perfect. I hope so. Layla's is good. I was going to say, I hope that silence means it makes sense. And again, you can always put a question in the chat if you get confused. So also on the homepage, you can always get to the syllabus right away really easily. If you click the map link will take you to the syllabus page. Just like in Canvas, you can look at the file right here, right on its own. I always like to download stuff just because then I have it on my computer. So I'm going to download it. We'll look at it together. So again, this is going to be me talking for a little while. So if you want, whatever, mute yourself, turn off your screen, whatever you need. But I'm going to read through the syllabus here for a second. Again, I tried to make this easy for you to find my phone number, my email, and information about my student hours, all this stuff we've already talked about. But that's all this stuff here at the top of the page. That's what this is. And then I've got the course description. So I'll just read that to you so you sort of understand my philosophy, my feeling, my belief about what teaching is. So the course description says, I want to begin this semester by recognizing all of the history, strength, creativity, and knowledge that you already bring to this class. Take a minute to think, where did you come from? Who helped you become the person that you are today? And how did you get to where you are today? You carry all of these places, people, and experiences with you, and I want you to think about them if you ever doubt yourself this semester. This class is made up of a diverse group of human beings, and therefore we have many different ways of knowing the world. I hope that we can use all these different types of knowledge as we read and write new things so that you can work toward our class learning goals. This semester, I will ask you to try on a lot of new ideas and skills. You might like some and really dislike others. That is great. I only ask that you imagine each experience as a different way to understand and read the world. When we do this, we won't be reading and writing just to learn the one right answer. Instead, we'll be reading and writing to create our own shared meaning as a class. And in this way, we will be active creators of our own learning. When we do this, I believe that we are more likely to use our voices to reflect and act upon the world in order to make it a more beautiful place. And this might sound sort of like my teaching philosophy sometimes can sound a little bit like, I don't know, kind of like a big dream or a big goal. But this really is the reason that I chose to make this my career and that I like to work with you all. I don't really care about grades. If you work hard in this class, I will give you an A. I don't care. What I really want is for you to learn something. Because we've all been in a class, I'm sure, where you don't really do that much work, but you get a good grade, but you didn't learn anything. And I don't like those classes. That's not the type of teacher I try to be. So I really hope, again, I understand grades are important, the units are important, your academic goals are very important. So please don't misunderstand me. But I really think that learning is more important than a grade. So if you're stressed about your grade, tell me, Jeff, I need to get an A in this class. Okay, that's fine. But I'll still ask you to do work that'll help you, help you learn something. So that's kind of my teaching philosophy, who I am as a teacher. Pardon me. So now let's talk about the business stuff. So there's 2 books for this class. There are 2 books. One is Hyper Focus. This is our nonfiction book that's going to get us ready for doing sort of research writing and thinking about summary and response writing. And then there's a book called A Map is Only One Story. This is our book that we're going to start with this semester. And that's where we'll talk about narrative writing. Now, in the group, in one of the announcements that I sent out, I did send links to these 2 books on Amazon. Now, you also probably saw, I'm going to put links to these again in the chat just so people can get to them easily. Now, some people were saying, Jeff, these books aren't in the bookstore at ARC, and that is correct. And I will tell you why. And that's because I say this with respect to the ARC bookstore. The ARC bookstore is very slow and very expensive. And last semester I used the ARC bookstore and students didn't get their books until maybe a month into the semester. And this book that is on Amazon, right, for brand new for $15 was over $20 in the ARC bookstore. So again, I don't want to be rude to our bookstore. And by the way, you don't have to buy the book on Amazon, but I do think finding it online somewhere, whether on Amazon or another bookstore, and whether you buy it new or used, I don't care, but I think you'll get it faster and you'll find it cheaper if you buy it online. So I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second. In the chat, I'm just going to put a link to that Amazon link for the book for people who haven't bought it yet.
2 days ago, I ordered, and I think today
Tell me.
I will get it, maybe today.
Amazing. See, again,
Today,
no disrespect, but that's much faster. That's much faster than the ARC bookstore. Any other questions or ideas about the books? Anybody? Suzanne, I see you've got Hyper Focus. I saw that. Let's see.
And it was pretty quick on
This is one of them.
Yep.
Okay, good. Barbara, I see your hand. What's up?
If some student from your last class, I can use this book again?
Yes, absolutely. Who else? Samira, you got a question?
Yeah, dear professor, or as you mentioned, as you put it to site and the Amazon site, it's too faster. I get my books, it's too fast.
Yeah, it's
I love it.
$33. It's very cheap.
Good. It's good. And Angela's saying it's also in the public library, which is fantastic. I love that. Thank you, Angela. Yeah, these aren't, like I said, I think I love ARC. I love our college. I just think some of these college bookstores stuff is just too expensive.
Yes,
so
yeah.
I think it's good to save time and good to save money. So like I said, you don't have to use Amazon. You can find these books in other stores online. You can go to the public library. That's all good. I'll also say if you need some more time or if you need another week or 2 or whatever, if you don't have your books yet at the beginning, I have a lot of this stuff electronic copies, and I can post some. I can't post the whole book because we'll get in trouble, but I can post some things if you need it online. Okay, so if you're stressed, oh my God, I don't have my book and I won't be able to start, don't worry. Like if you need any help with the books, just send me a text, send me an email, we'll make it work. Okay. Any other?
Easy,
yes, Ibrahim.
Professor,
Mir, go ahead.
Easy. Yeah, it's easy to get from Amazon very soon. I got it in 2 days.
Good. I love it. Fantastic.
It's very fast. Yeah.
Good. Good. And I think last semester the students really enjoyed these books. Hyperfocus, we had to go a little bit fast at the end of the semester, but I learned I learned how to make this semester even better. But the students really enjoyed these books last semester, so I hope you will too. I think you'll really enjoy it. Any other questions about the books?
Professor Jeff, what's
yes,
your
tell me?
You're gonna finish these 2 thick book in the semester?
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Any extra one?
Get ready, baby. Get ready. It's 3:25. Ibrahim, it's the first day. We can't start complaining about too much work on the first day. Come on, man.
I'm ready. I'm
on,
just
man.
joking. I'm just joking.
No, me too. I'm just teasing too. I'm just teasing too.
I thought one is for us. It's like a bonus for us.
Yeah, one's a bonus. One's for you to read. Yeah, one's for you to read next semester after this semester's over. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Excuse
Any other? Yes,
me.
Layla, please.
We start with the which book?
We're gonna read the map. This one, we're gonna read the map book first, but we'll do a few other short readings first. Okay, we're not gonna start with the long book right away. We've got a few short readings in the first 2 or 3 weeks, but then the narrative writing. This book is for the narrative writing, and that's the first genre we do is the narrative writing.
Okay, this book is about what? This is first time I hear this book. I want to know.
You'll find out. Don't worry, don't worry. Narrative is just an academic way to talk about a personal story. So a map is only one story is really what this story is about is immigrants who moved to the United States and they're writing about their experiences in the United States. Now, I will say this book is not a story only about immigration, right? Or only about language. It's really a story. Everybody's story is a little bit different. The reason that I chose this book is because you get a lot of different types of stories, but they all use this genre, this organization, this style of narrative writing. So again, that's why I use this book is because it's not about one topic. It's really because everybody uses the same writing genre. Does that make sense, Layla?
No, yes, a little. Not too much.
Okay, even if it makes a little sense for now, that's fine. We're going to talk a lot more about it before we start reading, okay? Any other questions about the book before I finish up with the syllabus?
Dear Professor,
Thank you
my
all for your
question.
patience. Please, Samira.
Yes, these two books, as you mentioned, and I'm is the only one story. It's gonna be the narrative writing, and the hyper focus is gonna be our reading book.
They're both really going to be good chances for us to practice reading skills. Again, if you don't know what I'm saying when I'm talking about reading skills, don't worry. 1 week from today, we're going to talk about different reading skills. But for everything we read this semester, you'll get to practice the reading skills. I think what I really want you to think about for these two books is, like I was saying briefly to Layla, is they're really good examples of two different genres, right? Two different styles, two different types of writing. Map is only one story. I know my camera's weird. A map is only one story. This book is the example of narrative writing, right? Beautiful, wonderful examples of narrative writing. Hyperfocus is really an example more of like research writing or summary writing, right? So I chose these two books because I think they're interesting. The topic is interesting, but it's also good examples of the type of writing that I want you to do. Does that make sense? So you'll read an example of the organization and the style, and then I'll ask you, okay, now it's time to practice writing with that type of organization or with that type of writing style. Does that make sense, Samira?
Yes, dear Professor, thank you.
Yeah. And like I said, don't worry if what I'm saying doesn't make 100% sense today. We've got 4 months, right? The semester is a long time. Don't worry, we'll get there. We'll get there. Any other questions about the book before I finish up with the syllabus?
Yeah. Go on.
Great. So let's keep going. So again, we're still on course materials. So I'm saying you all know, you're here, you do need a computer, laptop, Chromebook, tablet, or a phone with reliable internet access. Now, I cannot make you use a computer or laptop, but I do think it's much easier for you to write your essays if you type them on a real keyboard instead of a tablet. So American River College is still letting people borrow Chromebooks if you need one. So if you don't have a laptop and you feel like a Chromebook might help you, send me or hang out after class, send me an email. I can tell you who to talk to, right? Who to ask to get you set up with a Chromebook if you need one, okay? But again, I think because you're here, this was like last semester, right? you're probably all used to the online learning and to the computer and the technology stuff. So let's talk about everybody's favorite thing to talk about, grades, grades, grades. So assignments and grading. So there's basically three sort of groups of assignments in this class. So there are three major writing projects, three major writing assignments in this class. They are worth 400 points. So there is a cultural narrative, a narrative project, that's worth 100 points. There is an annotated bibliography project, that's worth 100 points. And then there's a summary and response project. So really, again, these are the three genres, the three types of writing that we're going to practice. And because those are the genres we're talking about, those are the writing projects we're going to do. Now, additional information for every major project will be posted in Canvas with instructions, due dates, and a grading rubric. And I want to show you this right now. So again, the first major writing project, you all, it won't be due for more than a month. So I don't want you to stress at all. We have short, small assignments to do first. But when I say, okay, I'll give you more information, I want to just show you sort of what that looks like. So what that means is in a month from now, in a few weeks, I'll say, okay, it's time for our narrative project. So on the syllabus, if I go back here, when it says additional information will be posted in Canvas, what I mean is I'll have a document like this, right? Where I tell you the purpose of the project, the type of genre that we're doing, the format, how many words, then information about due dates, and then information about grading, right? So this is not the assignment that we're going to do this semester, but this is just an example of how much more detail I will give you for every writing project. Okay, so you don't need to look at this right now, but I did want to show you that when I say on the syllabus, additional information, I will give you additional information. I mean, all of this, right? And for every major writing project, you guys, we'll have a Thursday Zoom session where I introduce the project, answer questions, give you all the information you need. So, but I don't like to put that in Canvas right away, because what happens is it's week one and students look at the narrative project and they're like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? And I'm like, we have a month. We don't need to, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that right now. So those are the writing projects.
Okay.
Then we have lessons. Yes, please, questions?
Yeah, the projects mean it's a group project or just individual?
No, individual. No, we're not going to do group in right now. No, it'll be individual. The writing projects are individual. For Zoom, for online learning, I like group projects in face-to-face class, but right now with COVID and students having their kids at home, and it's not, I don't think it's a fun time for group projects, to be honest with you. So so we'll be doing a lot of individual work. Fatma, yes.
Yeah, are we going to present it or not?
No, you present it to me.
What do you
No,
mean?
these are just essays. I mean, these, when I say projects, I mean, it basically means it'll be writing. Yeah, these are writing. But project is yeah, that's my job.
Essay about.
Believe me. I think again, you can ask Khadija or Varvara or Nasima or some other students. I'm pretty nice most of the time. Don't worry. Varvara, am I okay? Get a thumbs up, Varvara. Am I... Thank you, Varvara. Okay, lessons. I will ask you to complete a variety of lessons in Canvas, quizzes, discussions, writing assignments to help you learn and practice new ideas. Each graded learning activity, thank you, Mir, is worth up to 50 points. I'm going to show you those first lessons in Canvas before we finish up here. So lessons just means lessons, activities, quizzes, all the stuff that you do on your own in Canvas. And then there is a final exam, as it says, per ARC policy. ARC makes me give you a final. I have to do it. I don't like to do it, but I have to keep my job. So I'm required to administer a timed writing exam. You have a limited number of hours to complete the final exam on the day of the final. Now, the final exam is the only thing that you cannot revise and resubmit for a higher grade. Okay. Now, again, the final exam is not going to happen for 4 months. So please don't stress about the final exam right now. It is not important. I will give you a lot more information, but really it's not a test like one right answer. It's just going to be another chance for you to write something short. And usually it's about your experience with the class. What'd you learn? What'd you like? How could we fix the class? So it's not like a test. It's more like a chance for you to practice doing one more sort of writing assignment. How about extra point? Barbara's saying, how about extra credit? Yeah.
Yes.
Usually at the, the short answer is almost always yes. Like I said, you guys, I don't care about grades. I care about learning. So if I feel like Barbara, because it was Barbara, I already know Barbara. So if Barbara is saying, Jeff, I have a B+, you know, I have an 88%, and I know that Barbara's working really hard, and she says, I really want to get an A. Can I have extra credit? Almost always the answer will be yes, you guys, okay? I care much more about you learning and working hard than about, you know, I give you a test and I want you to have it perfect the first time. That's just not the type of teacher I am. So if you're worried about your grade and if you're stressed and you need extra credit, let me know. And usually what I'll do is at the, like by week, I don't know, week 10 or week 11, I'll sort of ask, how are we doing? Do we need extra credit for the whole class? And if the answer is yes, okay, I'll do some kind of extra credit activity for the whole class. If it's just 2 or 3 or 4 students who just need help one-on-one, we can do it that way too. Syed says, you made me happy
This is
about
the
points.
important
Good.
point of the school. Extra credit.
I agree. Yeah, well, Mir says just
Thank
give
you.
me extra credit. Well, one thing I learned from studying about how humans learn when I was, because I have 2 master's degrees. So one of my master's is in teaching English, one of my master's is in linguistics. And when I took my master's in linguistics, I studied all about how we learn languages. And one thing we know is when we are stressed, when the human body is stressed, we learn less. Like when we feel relaxed and happy, we learn more, we remember more. So that's why, again, like I said, I understand grades are important, but if we're stressed about grades, if we're stressed about our test, we actually learn less. So again, for me as a teacher, I try to find a balance, right? I am going to ask you to work. I want you to work hard to learn things, but I also don't want you to feel so stressed that you can't think straight, because it's like, oh my God, the final is in 2 weeks and I have to. We don't learn that way, right? So again, I'm always trying to find the right balance. So if you're stressed about your grades, if you're stressed about extra credit, send me a text, send me an email so I can say, relax, let's relax. Life is too short. Life is too short to stress. Now there is extra stuff here on the syllabus, but if you're like Susanna, if you've already looked at lesson 4, you know I'm going to ask you to read through this on your own. Okay, so I'm not going to read all of this stuff because it's slow and it would be boring if I made you read it all by yourself. So the last thing I want to do here today, and looking at the clock, we'll probably end a little bit early on the first day. So good news for the first day already. But before we finish, I do want to show you guys and answer any questions. Oh, let me go back to my PowerPoint here. So the last thing I'll do here is the final slide of our PowerPoints for most of our Thursday Zoom sessions. Because lessons don't have due dates, I'll say, okay, here's my suggestion, right? Here's what I think you should do. Excuse me. Now, like I said, if you're sick that week or stressed that week and you're doing work for another class and you can't do everything that I suggest, that's totally fine. It's just a suggestion. There's no due date. But what I'm suggesting for you guys to do before I see you next week is buy the books. A lot of you already have the books, so that's great. And then I'm suggesting that you complete lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I want to show you in Canvas where to find those lessons and answer any questions that you might have about how do I do that? How should I submit them? All those good things. So let me go back to Canvas. And I'm going to turn on the student view so that I see what you see and it looks like how you see it. Now, You can find the assignments for this class in a few different places. I couldn't find the example. Yes, Sadaf, the link was not alive. It should be alive now, but let's check. We'll go through it together. Sadaf was saying she couldn't find the example welcome letter because we hadn't had our first class yet. So you can find the assignments in a few different places. You guys probably already know from other classes. So you can go to grades, right? In grades, your assignments should be there for grades. So there are the assignments. You can go to assignments. The assignments are there as well. You can go to modules.
Okay,
the modules. Yes, tell me.
Can you? Yeah, when I did
Sure,
the name
please.
coach, it doesn't show in my grade that I submitted.
Yes, you're correct. So that's something that I have to do myself. You are exactly correct. But let me show you. I'm going to leave student view real quick right now. So good. Let's start with lesson 1, name coach. So I'll show you. You should be able to see what I see. So I've already got 17 of you have already done this. So 17 of you are already done with the lesson, which is great. So who was saying who? Oh, Fatma was saying. So let me make sure I can see your recording, Fatma.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're here. So you're here. So this is one assignment that I just need to look at this and then I'll put the points into Canvas. Okay, so don't worry. If you've recorded it, you'll get the points.
Okay.
You'll get the points. So let me go back to student view. And again, it looks like 17 of you already have lesson 1 done, which is great because as you'll see, or you already know, it's pretty easy. So lesson 1, name coach. If you've already done this, you already know. But if you haven't done it and you're watching the recording, all you need to do is use the name coach tool to record your name as you want me to say and pronounce it. So if you have a nickname, you can record your nickname. For example, my full name is Jeffrey. That's the name my mama gave me, but I like people to call me Jeff. So you can just record exactly what you want me to call you this semester. And in the photos, I sort of explain how to do that. All you guys need to do is click name coach. And it won't work for me because I'm in test student. But what you see when you click that for you guys is just a button that says record. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your computer. You can do it with your earbuds, whatever you need to do. But all you need to do is click that button that says record yourself saying your name. You're done, 10 points. And that way I get to hear your name as it's actually pronounced. Or if you have a nickname, I know what you want me to call you when we're in class this semester. So any questions about lesson 1? Hopefully not. It's pretty easy.
Yeah. I tried to put my name coach, but I don't see in list my name.
What's your last name, Nadia?
Nadia Rizak. Last name Rizak.
Riza. Okay, let me see.
R-Y.
R-I-R-Y. Okay, thank you. My English brain makes that vowel sound as an I in my English brain, not a Y. Forgive me. Name coach.
Page 2.
There's Hirana, there's Susana, there's Ibrahim Nuri. There you are.
I am.
My name is Nadia Rizak.
I got you.
Exactly.
Okay, great. Yes, please tell me.
Does it have any due date? Because I didn't do yet.
Nope. Nothing. Khadija, almost nothing has a due date in this class.
Okay, thank you.
There was a question in the chat. I forget, was it Sadaf who asked? No, Amina. How many drafts should we submit for each writing project? Now, I'm going to talk more about this when I introduce the major writing projects, but the real answer is you can submit for the narrative writing project, right? For the writing project, you can submit multiple drafts. You can do 2 drafts or 3 drafts or 4 drafts or whatever, but we just need to make sure that you're done submitting drafts with 2 weeks left in the semester. Okay, so what I don't want is I give you a grade for your first draft in week 4, and then in week 15, you want to submit 2 more drafts, right? I just want to make sure that we have the schedule so that I have enough time to look at your essay and give you feedback, right? So one big difference with this class is, yes, for the essays, you'll get my feedback, then you can revise and resubmit for a higher score. If you want to even revise and resubmit for a 3rd draft or a 4th draft, we can talk about that, right? We can do it. We can do it. So, and that's why, like Khadija was asking, The first draft for the major writing projects will have a due date, but then after that, you get my feedback, you get my revisions, and you can revise and resubmit on your own schedule. Amina, does that make sense to answer your question in the chat? It was a great question.
Yes, Professor. Thank
Excuse
you.
me, Professor.
Great, thank you. Yes, please.
As Sadaf asked in the chat, we can
Yes.
find the welcome letter that you write for us, like, for example. Yeah, I couldn't find.
Let me show you right now. Yes, thank you, Melanie and Sadaf. Thank you both. Yes, you were. So yesterday the link was not active; it was not up and alive. But today I think I fixed it. Let me make sure. So that's lesson 1. Khadija, no due date. Just record your name. Let me hear you say your name so that I can practice saying it and I know how to say it. Okay, and you do that, 10 points. Hey, that's like extra credit right there, Mir. So let me go back to assignment number 2. Like Sadaf and Malele were saying, what's going on? Where's your example? So if you click assignment 2, the welcome letter. So this assignment is a chance for me to learn a little bit about you, and it will also allow me to read some of your writing without you worrying about getting grades or corrections or feedback. So again, let me say, if you submit this letter, you get 10 points. I'm not taking points off for grammar. I'm not taking points off for organization. The idea for this assignment, you guys, is to just write just to write. So hopefully, again, no stress. This is not a grammar test. But I do want you to write, hopefully 500 words. That's about 2 paragraphs that answers the following questions. 1, who are you? 2, Khadija, I'm going to mute you. I remember, no, it's not personal. 2, how did you get to ARC? 3, what's a goal you have for this semester? 4, what is the best class you've ever taken anywhere, any language, any country, anywhere, and why was it so good? And 5, why do you think it is difficult to translate your own thoughts into another language? So I want you to answer those questions in your letter to me. And before you write your letter, please read and review my example. Let's make sure the link is working. So again, Sadaf Malele, you are 100% correct. Yesterday it was not up. My letter was not finished. I was still writing it last night. I was still finishing it, but the letter's here in Canvas. Now again, my letter is way longer than 500 words. You do not need to write this much, okay? But this is my example letter. So hopefully you can read the letter, learn a little bit more about me, see an example of the type of answers that I hope that you can give me. And then you can submit your letter. So I'm going to go back to this page. So the way you'll do that is click submit assignment. If you want to write that in Google Docs, if you have it on your Google Drive, you can click Google Drive for yourself. If you have a Word document, you could submit a Word document. There's lots of different ways for you to submit your writing to me in this class. So any questions about lesson 2, Ibrahim?
Professor Jeff,
please.
I wrote my welcome letter, so I submit it before I do the margin and all stuff on Word document. So I try to resubmit it. It said show me like 1 attempt, and there is no resubmit it.
Good. Let me. Sure. If you want to resubmit it, because I know some people did this really early. Again, I love 8 people have submitted already. So if now that we talked about the instructions and you've seen my example, if you want to resubmit it before I look at it and give it a grade, I'll do that right now. So I'll change it to three attempts, right? So if you now you're like, okay, I understand what Jeff's asking me to do. I want to resubmit. Go for it. Okay, go for it. I'm not going to look at these grades. I'm not going to do these grades until this weekend at the soonest. So you've got plenty of time. You guys, you've got plenty of time. Any other questions about lesson 2?
I have a question, Professor, regarding the welcome letter.
Sayed,
should we
please
add this question in each paragraph, or you said like 2 paragraphs? I'll see 5 questions.
Yeah,
yours like a couple paragraphs.
Great question, Sayed. There's no one right answer. I kind of want to see how you do it. Instead of telling you how to do it, I just kind of want to see what you come up with, right? Like, so this assignment is a way for me, like I said, to learn a little bit more about you, whatever you want to share, but also it's just a way for me to see some of your writing. So Sayed, if you go, okay, I want to do 1 paragraph, let's say 1 little short paragraph for each question, do that. If you want to try and combine 2 questions into 1 paragraph, do that, right? However you want to do it, there's no right or wrong way for this welcome letter. It's just a chance for me to see some of your writing. Make sense?
All right, thank you.
Yeah, like I said, try, no stress, no stress. Let me see, there's something in the chat. Let me take a look. I already did it. I hope it's the same as your example. Mir says you submitted it. Angela, great. Angela, Mir, I don't imagine, I don't think there will be a problem. If there's a problem, I'll send you a message, and if you want to redo it and revise and resubmit, that's fine. But I think for now, don't worry about it, unless you want to revise and resubmit, okay? Any other questions about lesson number 2 before I show you the rest? You're welcome, Angela, no problem.
You should change the class name by the name of like without the stress class.
Oh, good. I hope that Ibrahim is saying no stress-free class.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can ask Khadija, ask Varvara. That really is my goal. Like I said, I really believe when we are less stressed, we learn more. That is the goal. That is my goal, at least.
Yeah, before the class, I was just worried. Right now, I just feel I passed the class right now.
I promise you, Malele, if you do the work, I will pass. If you do the work for the class, you're gonna pass.
Thank you.
Again, I hope, like I said, I think people come back to take my class because I don't know. Like I said, I try to be. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna stop talking.
That's good.
We'll keep with Ibrahim.
Difference, Professor Jeff. It's totally different because the other class that I have, and also the class that we did on the past semester. So professors all the time they say in a first class they say, yeah, if you want to pass this class, you're gonna have to do this, that, the due date is this and this one. So it'll start shaking. But
I know.
this class, a little relaxing class.
Well, I'm young, you know. I'm a young professor. I'm from California. You know, we're very relaxed, very chill.
Yeah.
You know.
California,
but I am kind of joking, but I really, like I said, when I talk to other professors about this, I mean it, you guys. You know, I went to grad school. I studied these things. I studied how humans learn a language, and the science, the research is very clear. When we are stressed, we don't think clearly. We don't remember what we listened. I mean, that's just science, right? So, I think a lot of teachers in the past, older teachers, believe that, you know, if you're not scared, if you're not working really hard, then you're not learning. And I understand that belief, right? I know a lot of school systems in other countries, it's the same thing, right? It's very stressful. It's really like, you know, you have to prove to me that you're the best and only one student can get an A. And, you know, I mean, I understand. And I'm not saying my way is better. I'm just saying, if you're ever in this class and you're like, why are we doing this? Even if you hate it, I promise you, I have a reason for everything I do. It's from learning and thinking about how people learn. So it's my first, Angela saying it's my first online class, and I love its big appearances for students, no due dates for assignments. Great, Angela, I'm glad, and thank you for. I feel like a big responsibility. If it's your first semester, if it's your first class, that's a big responsibility. So I will do everything I can to live up to that, to help you all. I'm so grateful for students who signed up to take classes for the first time during the pandemic, right? During COVID and when everything's online. So thank you all for being here. I know many people have children at home or sick parents or sick relatives. So I know it's a hard time right now, and I'm grateful that you're all here too. And I'm glad to hear Ibrahim's. Oh, say one more time.
Okay, I had planned to stop this semester. But Mrs. Travis, Professor Travis, encouraged me to continue with you.
Well,
you for me, and she said just Professor Jeff, no anybody, just
that
And my husband
Yeah,
is
well, that makes me happy.
teacher. My husband is English teacher, English teacher, and he say always say, but he can help me. He never, because we have argue. He's
You're
good
too,
teacher,
yeah,
but
you're
not
too
for
close.
me.
You're too close. Yeah,
Yes,
that's right. Too
he's
close to be
but
a teacher.
he can't help me. Maybe
You're
because
lucky. You're lucky. You can make
no,
him.
I'm not lucky because he has his way and he's a little I don't know, but he's not good teacher for me. We have
Sure, yeah.
We have argued.
Good, yeah. Good husband, bad teacher, right? Good husband, bad.
Exactly.
Don't cook for him.
Oh my gosh, you guys are hilarious. Okay. Yes, tell me, Mir. Mir also, Mir knows me. Mir's taking class with me.
Yeah, as I know you from the writing 50, so because of this this semester also I choose you, and in the last semester you didn't have the writing class, so it's my pleasure that I'm you're a student and you're my professor, so I'm looking for the best teacher and the high star, so high level.
Ay, 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 ay. Okay, too much. Okay, enough. That's fine. I am happy though. Someone said there's good energy. I forget in the chat someone, and I agree. It's hard. Sometimes you never know with online stuff. Oh, Syed said I feel more energy. Yeah, I do. I agree. Sometimes on Zoom it does feel like you don't really connect to anybody, but today I do feel like good energy. I'm really grateful all of you guys are here. It does feel really good. So I just want to make sure we do finish a little early, like I said. So I just want to make sure, so I'm glad that you feel stress-free. Ibrahim, we can change it to the no stress ESL class. I love that idea. And Layla, I'm really happy that Professor Travis, I love Margaret. We share an office. She's really my best friend here at ARC. So I'm happy she told you to come work with me. But again, just to show you a little bit, so this is lesson 4 is just more information about the syllabus, okay, you guys? And this is what Susanna was saying. There might be an error for me to fix, so I will do that if I think I see exactly what you're talking about, Susanna. Hold on one. Yeah, let me do this. Yeah, Barbara was saying the same thing. It shouldn't be like that either because this was the quiz I did last semester. So it just means, again, Canvas, I am not a Canvas expert. I am a language expert. So let me fix this right now.
And now
Thank
it is
you.
it will be my mistake because
Your points, I know. So there's 2 things we can do. I'll fix this right now. You can either, so for this one, right, it says that it's a quiz, you guys, right? So it says that it's a quiz, but for anything that looks like a quiz in Canvas, you can have at least 2 or 3. If you need more attempts, it's fine. I'm not using quizzes like a way to test you, are you right or wrong? I use quizzes like a chance for you to learn or remember the things that I really want you to remember, right? So that's the way I designed these quizzes. So when it says preview the quiz, oh, actually, let me go back to student view so that you can see what it looks like in Canvas. So really my vision, my plan, my dream for you guys when you do lesson 4 and 5 is have the syllabus open, right? I want you to be looking at the syllabus, looking at pages 3 and 4, right? Because all the questions are about these pages. And then I want you to just look at the syllabus and then use the syllabus to answer these questions where it says resume quiz. So for example, how many Zoom meetings do we have each week? Anybody?
1.
Thank you.
1.
So again, not supposed to be a scary test, you guys, just a way for you to remember the important information about this class. And what day or time is our Zoom meeting? Well, it's not on here, but I just... And in this class, oh my gosh, I do have to fix this. In this class, you're required to come to the Zoom meeting. True or false?
No.
False.
No.
Right. So thank you. I see people answering the questions. Right. So again, this is the quiz. It's not a test. It's just a chance for you to. Sherry says false. False. Good. It's just a way for you to remember some of the important information about this class. So that's lesson number 4. And lesson number 5 is about the last pages in the syllabus. So I'll show you what those look.
The quiz?
Yes, you have 3 attempts. If you need more than 3, Katima, just tell me and I'll make it 4 or 5 attempts, okay?
Yeah.
So
can you
lesson number 5.
make bigger?
Yeah, Angela, go ahead.
Can
Say one more
you
time. Oh, Nadia, tell me.
Can you make bigger?
Oh, can I make it bigger? Yeah, let me see. Let me
Thank
see if
you.
I can zoom in so people
Thank
can
you.
see.
Well,
of course.
it's okay. Okay.
Too
Thank
big.
you very much.
So these ones say, read Appendix A, copy and paste a sentence you really like from the paragraph, explain why you like that sentence. So Appendix A is this section, this page on the syllabus where it says Appendix A. So all I want you to do is read this paragraph, right? And let's say that you really like this sentence. All you have to do is, oops, excuse me. All you have to do is copy. Oops. Copy that sentence, go back into Canvas, paste it, and then I like this sentence because that's it. Again, and yes, Barbara is saying 50 words. So again, especially for this first week or two, you guys, these 50 words are suggestions. I'm just curious to see how much you feel comfortable writing. So I'm not gonna, if you write 35 words, I'm not gonna take points away. Now, if you only write 10 words, I might send you a message to say, hey, this is too short. Please write more. But for the first week or two, again, I don't want you to feel like, oh my God, I have to write 50 words or Jeff will take away my points. No, do your best. If I think it's too short, I'll send you a message in Canvas. Okay. Any questions about lesson 5?
Professor Jeff. So
Abraham, please.
When you roll it down, when you scroll it down, so probably, I think if I be now my mistake, so I couldn't find some of these because it say on, I don't know which one was that. I think that was number 3. It say
I think
B, but it
3,
was
4, and 5. It is not Appendix B, Appendix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of Appendix C.
Not Appendix C, Appendix B.
Oh, I moved these. You're right. I moved these this semester. So Appendix C is only about attendance and grading policies. Thank you. Learning goals. So learning goals is in
Appendix C.
Analyzing literature, reading and writing. Give me 1 second, you guys. Oh, yeah. You're totally right. Hold on 1 second. Stay with me. Let me fix this. So let me make sure. I'm going to do 2 things real quick. And then I'll let you guys go because now you're just watching me fix Canvas things. Thank you for your patience. I'll have to thank you many times because, like I said, I love these Zoom meetings, but if I'm honest with you, I don't love Canvas. It takes so long to do stuff for teachers in Canvas. I know it takes you guys a long time too, but it takes a long time. Okay, so I'm going to change this to 4 attempts. And I'm going to fix these questions right now so that you can know what I'm talking about. And we want reading to understand. Phone call.
I'm sorry. It's my
Oh, no problem. And this is Appendix B. Thank you. Yeah, I did make a few changes. Reading is critical thinking. I did make a few changes to the syllabus this semester, so I needed to. This is what you were saying, Susanna. Reading is critical thinking.
So, Mr. Jeff, I already did this. So, can I? Should I go back and fix it or no? Because
yeah, go back and fix it. I just changed it so that you can submit it 4 times if you need to. Structure and mechanics.
But
yeah, go back and fix it.
I think we all already get your question. Like we answered right, but
The answer.
So maybe let me say this then. If you feel like you already got it and you answered it correctly, then don't worry about it. If I'm grading this weekend and it looks like there's some problem, I can just send you a message. So if Malele, you're right. If you feel like you got it, you answered the questions, all good. And if I disagree, I'll just send you a message in Canvas, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Great point, Malele. Any other questions or ideas here? Angela says great in the chat. Fantastic. Any other questions about lesson 4 and 5?
All the question can we copy and paste or from the syllabus from the.
Please do. Yeah, I think in some of the questions I say copy and paste. So if you just, like I said, if the thing you love the most is what? Let's say from reading and critical thinking, I'm really excited to synthesize information. Yeah, all you have to do is right click copy, or you can also, if you're on a PC on your keyboard, you can hit the CTRL, the control button, control C, that will copy, and then you can just paste it into Canvas. Absolutely, Nadia.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool. And then the last thing before we get out of here is the first discussion. A lot of you have already posted in the discussion, so maybe people already know how to do this. If you took Professor Travis's 315 class, you definitely know how to do this. But if you look at the discussion activity, I don't have too much to say about this. We're going to get to practice doing these discussions. But so instead, I'll just say, please just look at the instructions, try and do this on your own for the first time. But does anyone have any questions about this discussion activity that I can answer for you? We'll talk much more about the discussion in the next few weeks because we'll do at least 6 or 7 discussion activities. We won't do one every week. I think that's a lot, but we will do 6 or 7 of them this semester. So does anyone have any questions about the first discussion activity?
No.
All right. Again, I know I've been teaching long enough. Like I said, I'm a young professor, but I've been teaching for 8 years. So I know anytime the teacher says, we'll leave a little early, then the students are like, shh, no questions. We got to get out of here. No more. Stop talking. So I will say, if you don't have any questions, you know what to do, you feel comfortable, you're ready to start the lessons, get out of here. It was so good to meet you. If you do have any questions that you want to ask, I'll stick around. Hello, I'll stick around for a few more minutes and I can answer any questions that you all have. Okay. So otherwise, it was good to meet you guys. If otherwise, it was a pleasure. Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, please, Susanna. Yeah, please.
Do we have to
No,
start
please.
reading or not yet?
Nope. I don't want you to, for right now, don't do anything other than lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And if you're already done, do work for another class, spend time with your beautiful kids, do the laundry, do whatever you got to do. This first week is really this. No, I mean, me too. You know what I mean? What do I have to do? I got to sweep. Right now, I got to clean the kitchen, clean the bathroom. You know, I know how this goes, you know. So this first week is really relaxed. It's just the chance for you to get comfortable with how to do our class. We'll start looking at reading and reading skills and reading strategies next week in the Zoom meeting, okay?
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, get out of here. It was so good to see many of you guys, and I hope to see you all next week. If you do have questions for me, just stick around for a little while, but I'm going to stop recording right now, and I hope to see you all next week.
Okay.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you so
everybody.
much.
Thank you, Malele. Great to meet you. Thank you. Rafik, so good to